Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Alone in the South Passage, brought to you by me, David, and my good friend, Stefan. Stefan, how are you?
Hello, David. I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm a little warm this evening.
A little warm?
A little bit warm, but apart from that, I'm doing good. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm all right, Arcade. I'm good.
I'm great. Right. You've gone mank already, have you?
No, not really. I'm excited about that, though.
Are there tickets out already?
No, Monday morning, Saturday morning. Actually, no. If you're trying to buy tickets and you're in the same queue as me, Monday they're coming out. No, Saturday. Saturday at 9 a.m. I believe in the UK.
Don't get in this man's way.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about Oasis,
right.
Which is exciting. I'm still a little bit apprehensive. I mean, they've got nearly a year where they've got to not fall out.
Ooh.
Which is a long time.
Well, when is this tour meant to be?
July next year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
July and August next year. So
I mean, I'm impressed they've put their differences aside at all, because famously ragging on each other on social media.
I mean, they've been very unpleasant.
Yeah,
very
awful.
unpleasant.
To the point their kids are doing it to each other.
Well, this is. I think. I know Noel has been very open about the fact that he said, "Look, Noel's not said a lot, but he's like, Liam has said things about my children.
Yeah. And
I'm not having that.
Yeah, they've got to reconcile that.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they've had those conversations already. I can't imagine they've just gone, quite frankly, I'll be in a room with whoever you want for 100 million quid.
Well,
frankly.
Yeah. I'm thinking, the lure of the pension top-up has got to be strong to make amends.
Indeed.
With your
Although, quite
enemy.
frankly, I mean, certainly, I don't know about Liam, but certainly Noel doesn't need the money.
No.
Even when Noel sat at home having a cup of tea, he's making money from Liam because Liam plays all his songs. So
yeah, that's it. And the royalties must be pretty staggering still, I'd have thought. Streams and
yeah, absolutely. I think
things like that.
Yeah, I mean, they both do arena tours on their own and sell out quite comfortably. So
yeah,
I don't think they're struggling for cash.
No, fair enough.
But
I was never I was never that big on Oasis at the time. It's only sort of now where I hear the songs, I'm like, yeah, they were pretty good songs.
They were all right then, weren't they?
They're okay. Not, when you're in like an Alicante bar watching the Euros or whatever, and Don't Look Back in Anger comes on, you can't help but
stop crying your heart out after you get knocked out.
You can't help but tap your foot, or you
could tap your foot,
nod your head, or
good
something.
Bit of foot tapping.
Oh, I love it.
Anyway,
even I get swept up.
We are not an Oasis podcast. We're a Star Wars podcast.
We are,
and
apparently,
unfortunately, there's no news quite as big as that in the Star Wars galaxy this week.
No. What would the equivalent be? Like,
it would be
George Lucas is directing a new Star Wars.
George Lucas teams up with J.J. Abrams to direct something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty big.
The naysayers and the angry people might say something about Kathleen Kennedy, but I think George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy are probably on quite good terms.
I'm sure they are.
They've been long-time colleagues, and I would imagine get along okay.
Yeah, I mean, she was his protege, wasn't she?
She was, as was Dave Filoni.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet,
they learn at the feet of the
master. For some reason, and I can't think why it might be. I cannot think. I can't put my finger on it. Yeah. But Dave Filoni seems to be all right, but she gets a lot of the stick when things go the way people don't want them to. I don't know what it is.
It's odd. Very odd.
It's almost like they've picked something just about her that they don't like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
She doesn't have a penis.
Oh, is that it? All right.
Yeah, okay. They hate that. They hate that about her.
I thought that might be the case. I was going to find a more subtle way of saying that, but
nah, fuck it.
You got there before me. Anyway, yeah, it could be something like that. What have you been up to this week? Anyway, anything cinematic related? Anything sci-fi related?
Yes, I have been to the cinema to see Alien Romulus, and I am here to tell you that it will scare the willies out of you. So
I am aware of this, which is, as I said last week, I will repeat. I won't be seeing it in the cinema unless the cinema I go to promises to keep all the lights on.
Good Lord. I mean, it could not have been worse. I mean, I saw it at the X Plus screen at the showcase, which is like the enormous wall-to-wall screen, and the Dolby Atmos sound of like speakers above you, good Lord, the soundscape in that movie is terrifying on its own. Never mind what's going on the screen.
Oh, just listening to you describe it is.
I get goosebumps talking about it.
Yeah.
It was very good, I have to say. It was a really, really good film.
What's that thing? Is it 4DX?
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Oh, yeah,
imagine
that's
that.
where, it blows wind at you.
Oh,
and
imagine that. You've
squirts
got face
water.
huggers crawling all over the place. Oh.
Acid blood splashing you in the face.
Wow.
Oh, it's so
Wow.
realistic because your face melts away.
Yeah, that would... that's not a bit of me. That's not me.
No. Give it a couple of years when it's on TV.
Years. Well,
you've steeled yourself.
I will. I'm sure it'll be available to stream in the not too distant future. So I will watch it then. And
it's well worth a watch, and it's interesting. It takes place between Alien and Aliens, so it's a kind of a Aliens 1.5.
Yeah, I had read something about it. You know how people like to complain about, it makes this no sense of this and whatever else. I'd read something about how obviously in Aliens Ripley gets sent to whatever the name of the planet is to investigate it all.
Yeah.
But Alien Romulus suggests that would be not required.
Yeah,
because they already know that. But
it definitely does. It definitely does do a bit of that. But you just pretend that's not real and enjoy it.
Right.
You know, we're used to that kind of thing in Star Wars anyway.
Well, we're used to that kind of thing in everything. So I don't. It's just come on.
Let's just enjoy it for its own thing. It tries to stitch in a bit of the Prometheus stuff as well. It does a decent job of trying to stay on canon, but you know you've got to give it some artistic license to tell its story.
Indeed, of course,
it's a worthy romp, and it's definitely more in the horror vein.
Is it?
Yeah, more Alien than Aliens.
More Alien than Aliens. Is it more kind of? Is it better than the kind of Prometheus type stuff? And in your opinion?
Yeah, it's definitely more original movie, like I was going to say original trilogy, but yeah, I guess it's more in the vein of the original trilogy.
Yeah,
but yeah, more horror than gung ho,
less James Cameron.
Yes, yeah, that's a good way of putting it. More Ridley Scott than James Cameron.
Right. Okay. I like the sound of that. And I will endeavour to put my big boy pants on and
have a go
and see it, or see it somewhere in some point in my life.
Yeah. What about yourself? You've been up to much this week?
Yes, I have. I've been to the cinema this week as well.
Have you?
And I've been to see Deadpool versus Wolverine. It's not called that. It's not called that. Deadpool and Wolverine. Which is one of the things we'll be discussing later. So Steff and I will be reviewing with probably some spoilers, although I don't know. Actually, I don't think my review will contain that many spoilers. It's just
most of it's kind of out there.
Exactly. I mean, it's not unless you literally say blow for blow what happens.
Yeah.
I think you can probably guess a lot of it.
I think so. But worth a warning anyway.
Indeed. So we'll be reviewing that later. We'll also be covering our Second Chance Cinema Club offering, which Stefan gave us last week, which was called
Johnny Mnemonic.
Yes. I do know that, by the way. I have seen the film. I have bothered to watch it. And we'll be looking at that later. And I will also be telling you what we're going to watch this week for our Second Chance Cinema Club.
Can't wait to find out.
Indeed. And prior to that, we've got a little bit of Star Wars stuff to talk about, following on largely from last week's chat. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do so aloneinthesouthpassage@gmail.com, or you can contact us on our socials, which are at EITSP_podcast, specifically on Instagram, because it's the only one we really look at. And you can use the send us a text message button at the top of the episode description if you are listening on your phone or tablet. Right. That's about that. Or actually, I missed one. If you're watching on YouTube, just comment under the video like you know how to do. We don't really need telling on that one. I think you just know. Okay. All right. So as I said, I want to pick up a little bit on last week. And the discussion we were having around Star Wars, and more specifically the Acolyte, and the fact that it may or may not, probably or in all likelihood, has been cancelled.
Yeah.
And how likely that is because of the reviews and the review bombing and the like.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I feel like they've missed a trick.
Okay.
Because I think I think the Acolyte has had more free publicity than anything else I can remember in the Star Wars universe for a long time.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
It has been, and I feel like they could make more of it. And I feel like as well that there's and they may still do so, but they could make more of that free publicity. But they could also, if they were to make a second series, and just be like, we're not pandering to that. They could be basically like, we're not pandering to this bollocks. Yeah. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it the way we think it should be done. And if you like it, you like it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. I think they could stir up. Honestly, they barely need to advertise it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's a good point. Absolutely.
But, no. So I don't know. I just think if you look at, it's a strange quirk of the modern world. It's not a strange quirk because it's going to go on forever now. But like watching documentaries about older things, I actually watched a documentary about something Star Trek related, right? And they were doing some reviews of Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine got not quite panned, but like it got a lot of stick when it first came out.
Not well received critically.
No, it was not well received, and it got a lot of stick. They ended up doing 7 series.
Yeah.
26 episodes a series.
And ended up being amazing.
And ended up being, in my humble opinion, amazing as well. Yeah. I agree. So, but if they'd have gone round after the first series and gone, yeah, actually people aren't going for this.
Yeah. But it was a lot harder to make that. I mean, viewing figures is pretty much all you had back then, wasn't it? You didn't have a forum for a few angry geeks to mouth off.
A few angry geeks. Rah!
Yeah.
And also as well, I guess, something like Deep Space Nine where I don't know specifically, but I imagine they'd invested a huge amount in set and props and things like that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Thinking this is going to be at least 3, maybe 4 series.
Yeah.
We ain't throwing it out after one because we can't afford to. So
too expensive to write it off at this point. I think part of the problem, I don't want to get too off the track here, but I know part of the problem with Deep Space Nine was it had Babylon 5 was out at around the same sort of time.
That was one of the major criticisms.
Yeah. And it was a similar kind of setup, wasn't it, with the space station?
Yeah.
Even had still had a number in the title, like it was eerily similar.
You are Babylon 5. We are DS9.
Yeah. Our number's higher than yours. So
and we will be set on a planet that sounds a bit like Babylon. Or set near a planet that sounds a bit like Babylon.
Yeah, so some strange parallels there. And some people felt Babylon 5 did it better.
I don't feel like anyone at Paramount's going to admit to the fact they're like, oh yeah, we just did it because Babylon 5 looked like it was doing well, so we just decided to copy it.
We just knocked up a whole new franchise.
Yeah, quite.
But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying about the Acolyte and it's guaranteed if a new series came out, everyone's watching it, even if it's just to see, oh, how shit is this one going to be? Everyone's tuning in to find out, aren't they?
Mm.
And I know there's been an online petition to get them to try and reverse the decision. It's gathered tens of thousands of signatures already.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of a counter movement to try and balance out the vitriol. And
there is, but it's also that thing of like, I feel like if you're creating something or anything, like almost the worst thing you can be is middle of the road, right?
Yeah.
I say that. That's us. Like we are the biggest fence sitters in the world. But the worst thing you could be, like if you're creating any sort of artistic pursuits or whatever, the worst thing you could be is middle of the road. And you want to be like to create that sort of reaction. Yeah. I mean, like I say, loads of shows, loads of films would love to get that, not love to get that reaction and that backlash maybe.
Yeah.
But like just to be that,
have it, everyone talking about it on everyone's lips, all those articles, all those features, every forum post and comment on a video. And
indeed.
Yeah, massive amount of reach that it's gotten as a result.
Mm. And I know to the creators and the stars of the thing, it probably doesn't feel that way. It probably like,
no.
It's got to be full on.
Got to be quite upsetting.
But I mean, you're creating art, you know?
Yeah.
You want to create you want opinions about it.
You want to provoke a reaction, don't you?
Quite. And I do think I think with that I don't know about quite as equally loved, but I think there's as many people love that and will almost love it more now that because of the opposite reaction. You know, the opposite reaction creates a stronger feeling the other way as well.
Yeah,
and I think there's definitely I don't know. I can't help
polarizing, isn't it?
It is polarizing. I can't help feeling they're missing a trick with it. But maybe I don't know. Maybe
they should get you on the board of directors, shouldn't they?
I mean, I'm there. Disney, when you want
marketing director,
Lucasfilm, whenever you want me, you know where I am. You heard the contact details.
That's it. Reach out.
We're there.
Very, very reasonable day rates
with bells on.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm very reasonable. 5 figures a day. That's all I want.
That's all.
5 figures a day. Imagine that. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
5 figures a day.
I'm talking. By the way, this is sterling. Don't try and fob me off with yen or something like that.
Lira.
Yeah. I can't spend this. Oh shit.
Oh,
never mind. Right. Anyway. One other thing quickly to discuss, Star Wars related. Star Wars Outlaws is out, right?
It is, yeah. Well, it came out for early release Monday this week. General release, I think it's today. It's today or tomorrow.
What day is today? What is the date?
28th. It might be Friday, actually. It might be the 30th. But anyway, if you want it, you can have it already.
By the time you listen to this, it's probably out.
Yeah. By the time this goes live, it's going to be everywhere. And yeah, I know review copies and early access copies have been out for a couple of days already. So we're starting to see some comments, some reviews are coming in. Okay. We're going to hold off until next week. And we're going to do a proper review with, we're going to get our mate Baz on as he's plugging away at it as we speak, putting those hours in. So we're going to get a bit of expert opinion on to go for a proper review of it. I know you've got so many questions for him.
Yes, I am buzzing.
You're chomping at the bit.
Buzzing to know what
it's like.
What are we getting ourselves into?
Yeah. what are we getting ourselves? I mean, you'll never buy it. I don't think you even have a console that'll play it.
I don't have a console. I don't know. No. I've got a PC. Can I play it on a PC?
If it's a good one.
It's not. It's not. It's certainly not a gaming PC. Put it that way.
No.
So
it might be like, you know, when you transition through PowerPoint slides, it'll probably run a bit like that. One frame per second or something.
You're really selling it to me. Selling it to me. Well, I do. Who knows? Maybe one day I will play it in an environment somewhere.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows? I know.
Let's see what Baz says.
I know people with consoles. He might he might sell me on it so much that I'll be like, right, fuck it, I'll spend 500 quid on a console.
That's it. I'm going out buying a PS5
just so I can play this game.
Yeah, that's the power of.
I mean, I might not
reviews.
Although, if anyone at PlayStation's listening, feel free to hook me up. I won't say no.
Well, you've got Sony coming for you. You've got Disney coming for you.
I need a new
open to
DVD player actually. So maybe I could just do that. Although, am I right in thinking? I'm sure I've looked at consoles recently, and am I right in saying that nowadays, if you want the one that actually plays a disc, it costs a lot more than just buying one that plays on the internet.
It's like 100 quid more. Yeah,
that's a piss take for a fucking CD-ROM drive.
For a disc drive. It's a 4K Blu-ray drive, actually.
CD-ROM. That's all I'm saying.
CD-ROM. Has been a while, hasn't it?
CD-ROM. I still remember going to the library at school and being presented with CD-ROMs and just
in Carter.
Didn't even have the internet. I don't know, like Encyclopedia Britannia or whatever it was.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, the internet used to come on discs.
Yeah.
We're old school.
We are well old. I do have, actually, I said that was one last thing for Star Wars. One more thing. I've rewatched the Skeleton Crew trailer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It gave me very much. It felt a bit more Trek than Wars.
Right. Yeah.
It felt very much like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek.
Okay.
Which
I can see that.
I don't know whether that. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. I guess we'll find out.
I guess we will.
I'm not throwing stones at J.J. Abrams, but
I mean, if it plays like a good Star Trek episode every week, I'd be happy with that.
I'll take that. that. Yeah,
definitely take
I
that.
would, as I say, though, I don't know. It's something about it. It kind of had. I don't know. I think it's maybe that more because it's like a society. I don't know. It was weird because it's like it looks like they're living in suburbia, going to school.
Yeah, well, that's where the Spielberg 80s vibe comes from for me. But I mean,
we've never seen that in Star Wars.
No, we haven't. It's so it's something new, something different. I mean, if it was J.J. Abrams, there'd be tons of like lens flare and stuff going on, and
shaky cameras,
all sorts of gubbins. But well, yeah. Well, that could be to its benefit. We'll wait and see.
It could be. I don't know. I just it was just a comment. It's just something I'd seen, something I thought.
It's fair comment. It's fair comment. Certainly worse influences to have.
Indeed. Anyway, right. Have you got anything else to say that's mildly Star Wars related or something to do with cinema? Or should we take a quick break and then we can come back and we'll talk about Deadpool and Wolverine?
I say break.
I say break.